of it. So I want to make my pick of the week this week on something that I actually watch consistently, rather than just kind of analyzing numbers and kind of going off the underdogs there. So lines aren't out yet for the actual competition. They just had the qualifiers this week. But I already have a few teams that I kind of want to look out for and probably hop on if they do end up being the underdogs. Um, First one is Team Envy. They are a pretty crazy team. I think they're probably going to be the favorite to win the whole thing. So I don't see them being an underdog at any point. But if they do end up being an underdog, I definitely would put money on that. And then the other two teams I'm looking out for are Faze Clan and 100 Thieves. These two teams are kind of inconsistent right now, but if they kind of pop off, then they are crazy. Faze Clan is kind of like a whole like another pro player called them like W Key Legends. So basically they just rush the entire game and just like there's not much of a strat involved. They just out frag everybody and they just rely on their aim.
What does frag mean? I keep hearing that term. I don't get it.
It just means to kill.
Oh.
Yeah. So like top fragging, like you just have the most kills on the team, frag out, just fucking kill everybody. Usually with like these tactical shooters, there's like a strat involved and like you like there's tactics involved in a tactical shooter. But this is a team that literally like they just rely on their aim and they just so at times it works, at times it won't work. But they've had some pretty solid qualifier games and I've been enjoying watching them. And then last one is 100 Thieves. They were the winners of the last NA tournament. Again, betting on the previous champions is never a bad idea. They did, however, just drop one of their players for another player that kind of they pulled from Counter-Strike, which is a very related game. But that being said, he's still new to Valorant, so they kind of bet on his potential there. So that's why their games during the qualifiers were a bit rough. So this is a team that I think might have more potential to be the underdog. So I'm looking out for them to possibly bet on as well, just because they were the previous champions. They have a new roster, so they're still kind of figuring things out. So I think it's likely that they'll probably have a little bit more of a reduced odds, but I think they're still a very solid team. Their strats are insane, and yeah, they are a team worth betting on, in my opinion.
Have you been watching a lot more esports ever since you've been making these picks?
I've tried to watch some highlights and clips of like League and Dota. I don't completely understand the game, so it's a bit hard to do that. I've been watching a lot of like Valorant tournaments though, because I play the game, so I kind of understand it more. I've even actually been watching like Korean Valorant and like other countries, just because like they have different strats and stuff that it's kind of interesting to watch like the gameplay of that. So if Valorant's still a pretty new game, but if they start to have more lines out in the Asian countries, definitely be something that I'd be down to bet more on.